Welcome back to another episode of The Road to 2200. I'm 1823. My opponent is 1820. Here we go. So they played a flexible opening. They could go any number of directions. And they're going this direction. I don't know what is happening. They would like a take back. I usually don't give take backs, but I'm going to assume they meant to play g6 and just say, okay, that's fine. I normally don't do take backs, but I don't know. Might as well get a good game, right? It would have been interesting to see g5. I was definitely surprised. I'm only going to give the one, though. I'm going to say it now. I'm going to give one single take back. All right. We are hitting the pawn. One of these two will most likely be played, and then we will take. But this is interesting that they've mixed these together. Okay. So this is like sort of a Grunfeld. It is a Grunfeld. If I takes there. Yeah, I'll go here. I think this is the move. And then I take here. I'm not mistaken. That's what my Grunfeld theory is telling me. And then they take here, and then I take here, and then they take... I guess they can't take there. So then they're just down a pawn? So maybe they don't do that, because that looks insane. But maybe it's because they go here, 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 and then they get it back. Okay, so they're not doing any of that. They're doing their own special sauce here. What to do here? Definitely tempted to go takes. But I guess I don't win the pawn. They just go there. And then I've given up my bishop. I've gotten very little for it. It doesn't seem like the best idea. If I just take and they take this way, we're still back to that same scenario from before. But I guess this time I could take here. And then if they take there, I get an enormous center. Let's do it. I'm assuming they're going to go here. Now if they go this way, then okay, that's fine. At that point, I might even jump into here. Well, here we just straight out win a pawn, right? Am I missing something? We take, they take, we take. Yeah, we win a pawn this way. Okay, so they've dropped a pawn. That's helpful. What? What? What am I talking about? It's the same thing. I can't take there. Oh my goodness. I was playing so well earlier. What happened to my poor brain? There is this though. But then they block here and they're backing it up. Then I can go here. And it still doesn't happen. So I think I need to go here. They're going to castle immediately if I go here though. Am I happy with that? I guess so. I've played this poorly. But let's see what we can do. I assume castles is the move here. Their bishop is oddly placed. That's like the one thing we have going for us in the setup, but I don't know what exactly that's going to do for us. We just have to outplay our opponent from here. If I go here, they're likely to go there, which I think is okay. I'm going to go there. There's like this universe I could imagine myself castling long. Okay, but I think that universe is now gone. Well, I don't know. Like, pushing here again. They don't have the knights over here. What if I go here and they just stick the bishop there? How do I deal with that? Not easily. All right, I'm just going to play this one straight up. And after the game, let's look at that. Like, was that really the way to go? I tend to not like to do these just like I don't know how to describe them. They seem like hopeful attacks where I don't really have a good reason to do it. I'm just thinking like maybe it'll work. Those attacks don't normally work. I'd rather just play, I think, a more solid game and try to outplay my opponent. So we're going to just go like here, 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 double up on the open file. Probably trade some material off. Hope not to enter knight versus bishop. But a knight queen versus a bishop queen would be fine. This is knowledge I have rather than actual skill. This is something my coach keeps talking to me about, and I don't fully understand it. I just kind of pretend I do. So I would like to see some games where I play where I can see it. Like, I get his theory, which is that knight and queen cover all squares at all times, whereas bishop queen cannot. Okay, I kind of thought he was going to do that. So this was what I had drawn up. And he can't go there because that's just game over. And if he goes here, well, that's a very weird decision that I am totally fine with. It really forces that. Okay. Interesting choice. All right. Let's just actually, I don't really want this knight in here is what I'm thinking. And it doesn't seem like I'm in any hurry. Okay, but I do have this idea. Here, here. I can drop the bishop back. And then maybe that's fine. And then suddenly the knight looks a little bit misplaced. So I'm going to do that. If he wants to come here, he can. I'm sort of inviting it. I can go here, and then maybe I can go here, especially if this bishop moves. Then I'm hitting this, I'm hitting the knight. So there's like a lot of long-term possibilities here that I'm considering. Well, basically what I'm looking at is this pawn is weak. If this bishop moves again, which it really wants to, this pawn becomes weak. And if this guy comes here, then we would have undefended piece, weak pawn, weak pawn. So this is like a trifecta that I might be able to take advantage of. So I would love it if he went here, here, and then like here. That seems like it would work quite well. Okay, it's dead. Boom. Fire in the center. Smart move. Attacking the center is a great idea. Also this, a nice David versus Goliath moment. See my chessboard course for more information on that. How do I want to handle this? Here, 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 here. Not exact. Actually, that's great. This pawn is going to be weak forever. Unless he pushes it. Yeah, let's do this. I think that was a mistake, actually. No, because he was going to take there. Oh, right. After this guy moves, this guy is very falling. Okay. So we'll go here, here, here. And then this is strong. I don't think I have a way to stop that. If I had one move, if I could move this bishop somewhere compelling so that this was falling, and I can't go here, here, because there's no check. If I could get right to that square, I could do that trick. Any other tricks? Okay. Yeah, then I give up my control of this pawn. I could go here just to control this square. And then they can't push it as easily. But they still can. What if I go here? What if I go here? Sort of the original plan. Then they push. Then I take. Yeah, I don't really know what to do. But if they push here, they're in good shape. I suppose I could do this. I don't love that, though. I'm saying if here, here. I mean, they could just go like that and then say like, okay, we're right back to where we were. Probably it's going to be here, here. Something like here, here. This just looks weird, right? Like, but maybe if I can do something like that, soften that up. But this is the ultimate biting on granite is the phrase. Wow. I was not expecting that at all. That is utterly shocking. What is happening? Huh? Okay, I guess it's because they have this. But if I take here, this is hanging. And then I can go here. This feels like a pretty big blunder to me. Here, here, here. Or takes, I take. I guess he takes here. Then I take here. I don't know. I think my opponent missed something here. One of us is missing something big. That we'll just say that. Either I'm a fool and I'm missing something, or my opponent has missed something. Someone is coming out of this worse. I guess the difference is if my opponent missed something, they just gave up a pawn. It's not the end of the world. If I miss something, I give up the game. But I don't think so. The fact that this is covered, I think they will rely on takes, mate kind of stuff, which looks cool. My king is pretty naked, but I feel like they just have just not quite enough material to be able to make it happen. Okay, so this is clever. If I go here and now he goes here, and I lose my queen. So we're not doing that. What should I do though? I could just go here. I would love to get my bishop on that. So if I go here, then I go here. Allows me to go here also. I don't like tucking my queen into this mess. It just makes me feel quite awkward. I'm not sure what else to do. Something like this is something I'm looking at. I guess he's got that. Problem with this move is it just doesn't really force him to do anything. I can just keep up the attack. Maybe I go here with the idea of dropping back to there. Or here, here. Is there anything else my opponent's move does? I don't know. They really, I think their next move is here. And then all their pieces are in the game. All right, I'm going here. I don't know about this idea. This might be a bad one. But it does let me do something like here, 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 here. Can get a lot of defenders all of a sudden. I'm up a pawn. All I really need to do is not blow this game. I'm considering here first and then here. Oh, that would maybe not be good. Yeah, I think that, well, if I go here and he does this check here, then takes with the rook, it's just a trade, but it does bring their piece in. Ah, but this is covering it, so it'd be fine. This could be interesting to develop like that. I think I would probably go here. That'll be quite annoying for my opponent. There we go here. Then I'd go there. And then I would go here, I guess. So it really feels like a question of, can my opponent use these two bishops to punish me for a weird queen placement? If not, I think I'm in very good shape. Because I'm up the pawn, it's a center pawn. It's kind of everything we want. Interesting note, if I go here... Oh, never mind. I was thinking I had this fork, but he also picks up this. But there is these fork ideas on that square. Another thing I'm looking at is kind of like this fork. It is covered twice, but this is more of like a filing it away. If one of those defenders moves away, I have it. Okay, so that must be the plan. If that is the plan, this feels like a pretty good way to stop it. The problem is this. Yeah, suddenly more attackers are involved. That's where it gets scary. I suppose I could go here, here, check, here. Oh, no. That check's covered. Let's see that for sure. Wow. Now things have gotten even worse. We've lured another attacker into the party. Oh, interesting. We can go here now. The problem is, if my opponent is wise, they'll just go like here. And then I can't continue pressuring. And the rook moves with the discovery. So I just think that's also not a great plan. I'm really struggling here, in case you can't tell that. I think I'm going to go here, with the idea that if here, I'm going here. And then I'm backed up. So it should be okay. A little nervous about this, actually. I didn't look at that. No, that's fine. Everything's backed up. Okay. So this, maybe followed by this. That should be okay. I was hoping to put the bishop here, but that just might not be a reality of this game. Ooh, there also is this idea. Oh, I could have gone for that, couldn't I? Hold on. Oops. Here. Yeah, if I had gone here, then they couldn't have gone there. And then I'm threatening that. So maybe that was a better idea. I would have had to give up. Well, because then the pawn falls and everything else falls. Okay, so I was going to go here. Is that still what I want to do? Yeah, I think so. If takes, takes. I think we're good. Even takes, takes here might be better. Then we can still go there. Threatening also there. Lots of cool knight threats. My knight feels like it has access to a lot of squares, which is interesting. I did a little training today on knight moves. I found a website. I don't know what it's called, like Fast Knight or something maybe. And I basically it was just like, capture this pawn in as few moves as possible, and you just did it for 60 seconds. And I'm trying to work on that. I've mentioned it in my podcast, and then I've had people mention it in their watching of the videos, right? That they feel like that my knight play isn't where it should be, and I totally agree with that. So something I'm trying to work on. Something interesting is if here, and then I try to drop back. Woo, they took. Wow, that is spicy. That really changes things a lot. So now what do we do here? I'm kind of looking at this. The reason being that now this rook is quite active. Put this rook here. But I also kind of want to take this way. I have a pretty powerful looking bishop. The knight can still go here and torment. Yeah, I'm going to go this way. I don't know if one of those ways was better or not. I didn't really calculate very well there, which is an important thing to consider. I just kind of went like, "Ooh, this looks good." This hopping into here is interesting. If he goes there, I don't really have anything. But this square is still a pretty strong one to be able to come in here also. Oh, yeah, that wins a piece. Oh, okay. So this probably is good, because this is threatening to win a piece with this move. Check, hitting this twice. Right, with the rook and with the knight. So that's a pretty strong threat. I feel like they need to develop that bishop. Yeah, but there's not a ton of great squares. So they go there. So if I go here, does this do anything? Oh, they did just hang this pawn. Is that an issue? I take... They go... Where? I think that's just a straight up hung pawn. Because even if they attack this a second time, I just move out of the way, right? I just go here, threatening this piece. I think this is just a hung pawn. I think my opponent has sort of collapsed here. They were going for the big attack. It didn't work out, and I think things have just kind of spiraled. So like if they go here, I think I can just probably go here. Maybe not. Maybe I'll just come back to here. This seemed like a pretty strong square. Or even here. Here is interesting. Probably not. They could probably go there. And then they're attacking two of my pieces with one. I could go there, check, but that doesn't actually fully fix the problem. My piece is still under attack. Yeah. So I think if they attack the bishop, I just move it. I say that's fine. Not a problem. Okay. Attacking my bishop, I move my bishop. Let's move it to... here or here? Let's look at this one last time. It's just very enticing. There. I don't think that works. Yeah. All right. Here or here? Where's the bishop going? The thing with this square is it does allow this, but I'm not sure that I care about that. I do kind of like this bishop just being here. It covers so many squares. Now the bishop can't go there, can't go there. Their bishop really is limited in the squares it can go to. It can go there and hit that, which is like, okay, I think we're okay with that. I won't be shocked to see this. Oh, okay, this doesn't work. I was thinking I could go here. Actually, I probably can. I was thinking they would go here, but then boom! The fork. There's forks everywhere in this position. I'm just seeing the forks. I think that knight drill I did today is actually paying off. My knight acuity seems higher. I'm not going to claim it's high. Oh, he went for it. Okay. So, if I go here... they can go here. But then, of course, I've got the fork. And it also drops the piece. Okay. I think I can go here, right? Takes, then goes there. Ah, but then the fork goes away. Okay, so if I go here, takes, then goes there, but then I just take the piece. And if I go here first, and let's say they go here, that's a fork. If I go here and they move to there, this drops. So maybe that is the main play. And then I just go takes. And I'm doing pretty well. So let's do it. Stick the knight here. A lot of threats here. A lot of fork threats. Maybe bishop d6. Oh, no. The rook is under attack. So it really feels like rook e6 is almost an only move. And it's actually a very good move. Wow, I did not see how good it was. What I missed was the fact that it would be hitting this bishop too, and there's this check. Well, it's only a trade of bishops, but still it's quite annoying. But if he goes here, which I expect he will, takes, then what? Yep. What do I do? Do I go here? No, I can't go there. That loses. I think I'm just going to trade down. Seems very reasonable. Go there, then just attack the bishop here. He can do the check trick. We would trade. The bishop's still hanging. I'm still controlling the game. Yeah, I'll just do that. Oh, this is super tricky. If I didn't have that, I would be lost. So it's time to move the bishop. I'm going to move the bishop here. Almost certainly. Because he's going to move the bishop. Ooh, that's intriguing also. But I think I should be fine. I think I can just... Although, if you were to do that, I could go here, check. Either way he handles it, I pick up the bishop. So I think I would do that. Okay. I have a 2-on-1 over here, which if you saw the last video, you know can be, if we could trade down to a king endgame, we'd be in really good shape. Okay, so he went that side. What was I saying before with the... I don't even remember what I was saying. How was I going to take this? It was if he was attack this guy. What about... Rook can't go there. So all the entry points are taken for the rook, which is annoying. I'm going to go here. Well, before I do that, what is my opponent going to do? If I go there... my opponent goes there, it's kind of annoying. Then they can get to this square, which I did not want them to get to. Well, no, I don't have to move the knight, I guess. Maybe I want to go... No, I don't. I was going to say that. I don't want to do that. Creates a backwards pawn that's hard to deal with. All I have to do is live. So let's go here. Let's not get in serious time trouble over a move that's not super hard. Then I think next move maybe is like here. Or maybe... I don't know where I want this knight now. This knight went from being fairly formidable to kind of in the way a little bit. That would be met by that. And then I would win for sure. This. Can I go here? Or does that just loses the knight, doesn't it? I think that it hangs the knight. I'm having a hard time figuring out how do I win. I'm up 2 pawns. I kind of feel like all I have to do is not mess up. I don't actually have to win, but I'm still sort of having a hard time figuring. Okay, so that was big for me. So I can go here, check. Has to take. take the piece, right? Yeah, if he just moves the king, I take the piece. So that worked out really well for me. I kind of assumed he was going to do that. It was kind of the most active, reasonable move to make. But it also, we need to go this way. Also trades a piece when he doesn't want to trade a piece. All right, next couple moves are just this. No, sorry, it is this. Let's get the king to the center. If he gets his rook to here first, then I got to put my rook here. I just don't want him to infiltrate. I'm going to get my king in a good position, and then we can start trying to move forward. I don't really want to get in a situation where it's like here, and then they go here, and I go here, and then we sort of like try to race pawn grabbing. I just want I want a smoother win. Wow. That's a really great move. That is a fantastic move. It's going to send us into an opposite colored bishop ending. Wow. Because I have to take. If I don't take, check, and look at this. This is checkmate. I either take or go that way. I don't know. Is this a draw? I don't know well enough opposite colored bishop endgames to know if this will be a draw or not. My guess is it will. Queening square. So that's the queening square we need to go to. All right. I don't think I have a choice. I think I have to do that. And rather than push my pawns up, I think I need my king up first. And then I'll start moving the pawns up. Okay. So got the king up. I think I need to keep my pawns on my color so I don't give him targets. But if they have the same strategy, then I don't know how this works. I go there. They can't infiltrate, so that should be fine. I think I can go here even. Okay. Like, can't I go like that? If I go here? I go here. He still can't get in. He's got to move these pawns up to get in. Okay. It does move the pawns up. Wise decision. I think I want to go here. Then here. And if here though, this one will fall in the back. Good stuff there. I think I messed that up. Didn't I? Oh no, I should have prevented that pawn from moving. So I need to go here. So if he pushes the pawn, I'm taking there. But he could go there. And if so, when pushing there, how do I punish that? By going here? So that if he pushes here, I go there. Ugh. My pawns get so very messy. Here, takes. Here. Takes, there. I don't know. I think I messed this one up. In a pretty subtle way, not recognizing that this is actually hitting this pawn back here. Right? Like I saw this and I was like, well, that's going to be impossible to break through. And my opponent's like, no, it's not. It's not going to be possible at all. I'm going to have to take, right? There, all my pawns are on the wrong color. I feel like I'm in trouble. What if I go here? No, I think I have to go there. He takes, then I push this pawn. He takes, and then I push this pawn. He goes here, I go here, he goes here. And something is definitely falling. Ooh, I think I can go here, here though, and skewer these, unless he sees that. Well, I think my winning chances are going away. I think this would be better if I'm going for the skewer move, but maybe my opponent just goes there anyway. Or maybe just there first. Then I can go here. Ooh, and then if he goes behind the pawn, then I can just run. Okay, so I get to go here. This isn't... Oh, I guess it is. Never mind. I thought it was fine for me. Yeah, now there's no way I could win. Okay, so now we're going to go... So this pawn here, this pawn there. Here. Okay. Here. This would be a good move, or that. Okay, missed it. That's big for me. Go here. Now I might have a chance. Not sure how far away he is. Here, 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 and he's back just in the nick of time, so I should not have it. But can't I box out this way? I sure can. And then I think they need to go here. I guess that would work too. Here or here. They have to defend against this move, or I think they lose. Okay. So they defended against the move appropriately. I'll go here. I think they can just dance around. Well, if they move away, and then I go here. Okay, so I think I can go there, so the king can't come back. If the king has to go over there, then when I go here, then the king comes back, then I go here. I might be okay. Oh, no. There's no world where I'm okay. I'm being ridiculous. They will just sack the bishop for the pawn. Okay. Well. Wait, I can't do that anymore. I have to go here. But yeah, that's too bad. I thought I had a chance, but this is definitely a draw. As soon as they put their rook there, it was a draw. Okay. I think I go here. Bishop has to move. Ooh. There is a chance I could still win this, I think, if my opponent does something utterly... Nope, they still can't. Ugh. Even if my opponent plays ridiculous. What I was thinking is if they somehow went like this, and then I could hit him here, I could actually push the pawn, but because it's still the wrong color queening square, the bishop could still sack for it. So there's no world in which I can win. No world. It'd be interesting to see like how big was my lead. What just happened? What? Okay, I win. I don't know what that was. That was absurd. Oh my goodness. I mean, all I have to do is move my bishop back. And guess what? You have to move your king away, buddy. And now you lose. What happened there? Holy Toledo. They really missed out on what was happening there. This is another example of you got to know endgames at a basic level, at least, as you get up to these ranges. We'll talk about why I'm so sure that was a draw. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I would be stunned. I'll show you what I was talking about. Okay, then my opponent resigns after making a stunning move. So let's just jump right to here, where it's my claim that my opponent, that it's a draw. They go here, it is a draw. Because my best case scenario is this. That's like best case, right? I've lured the king away somehow, and now I'm ready for my move, and it's just takes, give up the bishop, tie, right? This is a very easy draw. So basically the way to know this draw is to know just the bishop is not enough material. All you have to do is trade this pawn for this pawn and this bishop for this pawn, but you have to do it in the right order. And my opponent messed that up and just gifted me the game on a plate. It's very generous of him. Let's look at the game. So we move into some Grunfeld-ish setup. Okay, I took there ridiculously thinking I was winning a pawn, which I don't know what that was. My brain was broken for a moment. This is what I would normally play. This is the Petrosian system. And yeah, normally I was talking about this. This is the move most people make. And then you go here, and then they go here, and then you go here, and then we're up a pawn? I wasn't thinking this is how they did it, though. And then here. And what happens if I take? If I take, it's a disaster, right? Because it's this and this is falling. Okay, so that is how they do it. They go here, and then I just have to come back. Or go here. One of the two. And then we're just in a pretty even game. Okay, so that's sort of a normal theory. People don't play theory. This is why theory is sort of irrelevant. It's good to know because the only reason this I learned is because it was so jarring the first time. I was like, wait, what? They're hitting this, which is backed up by this. They're hitting this. I could take here. I could take here. There were so many moves that's why I just kind of looked at it and remembered it, because it was something like that. Okay, so here, again, just here, and we're on our way. Instead, I ridiculously took, didn't matter, but I felt foolish afterwards for certain. Let's see, I bet the computer says it's dead even. Let's try. Dead even, 100% zeros. Okay. Yeah, so here's a question. Was it better to go here? Hitting this and this. They can't go back to protect. They would have to go like here, and at least get something out of this. Maybe not. Here, and then we're in this land. No, because the knight hangs. So, I don't know. Let's see what the engine says. Should I have just run out with my queen there? Engine says best move is h3. Engine says this is exactly as good. And that the line would, in fact, be takes, e6, takes, and then knight takes d4 is the line. How does that not hang a piece? Because when I take, what? They take, and it does hang a piece. It's just that they get a lot of compensation, bottom line. Queen can come in, rooks can come in, my pawns are a little messed up, they have this pass pawn up the center. I would take white there. Okay, but I didn't do that, or they didn't do that, they ran away. I went here. Takes, and then everything is normal. Interestingly, this is a totally fine move. Computer really likes f4 here. I looked at f4. What I don't love about f4 is they can just run back to their house. And then this is a backwards pawn that I now have to deal with the whole entire game, which is kind of annoying. Okay. So he goes there, giving me the free pawn. Best move by far. And then now it's just, you know, hold on. Let's try to hold on to this thing. Interestingly, that was considered a pretty big mistake. I thought that was a good move. The computer says, you know, let's just get our pieces in the game. Let's do that. This seems like a very human move. Attack the queen. Computer says go here because look, now that's cut off. How would that work? Let's say they go... I don't even know what they would do. Computer saying here. Trading. Seems like a weird trade to me. To come over here, which makes no sense to me, but I guess it's maybe to cover that. I don't know. Okay. I went here. I thought that was fine. Just get the queens off the board. And the computer says, yeah, especially now giving up that pawn, you're crushing. You can't lose this one. You can't even draw this one. Okay. So now the matter is like, where did I make my game losing mistake, right? Because I feel like I'm doing quite well. It says I'm up 5. Oh no. Okay. This is a horrible blunder. I had it in my head that I wanted this position. So that takes. I was already thinking that before we got there. You might have noticed during the game, though. This is a very basic tactic. Boom, boom, boom. Like, you have to see these. You have to see the basic ones. Whew, that's a frustrating one. I think that comes from me already being invested in that. So then I think it's a draw here, right? This is a draw. No, that's not a draw. Okay. So I have a couple choices here. First of all, I could go here. Then if he takes, bam, I already have a passer. I didn't love that idea. This passer looks very vulnerable, but how? How's it vulnerable? I just go here, and no one's ever touching it. So that is a good point. That would have been a very good pass pawn. I could have also, of course, ignored it. Gone here, 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 and then computer says here to attack the pawn, and then I just push. And now, you know, things are a little bit dicier. Maybe they have to come back to get here. Computer says I'm winning here by 2. I find that very hard to believe. But instead I took. And the computer says I'm still winning. So let's see where the big flub is. Okay. Everything is going great. I'm up a lot. I'm up 3 now. 3. 3.74. This is only 2. Computer says what I should do is go here, which is kind of in what I was thinking. But if I go here, takes. And the computer says that I win this. I have this last pawn. They're going to have to handle this. I didn't see this as a win. Interesting. So let's see. What about... Yeah, and I guess if they go here, then they lose for sure. So they do have to... I don't know. Let's just say they go here. So I go here. I got to see how this works. They go here. Go there. I'm sorry, I'm going to go here. Oh, yeah, now this would be... Well, no, even so. I think at that point they can't sack, though. I think this is the big difference, right? Now, I've got these pawns. So if they sack the bishop for this pawn, then they lose. So that's the big difference in the game. That in the game, I wasn't left with the other side of the board. I had to only win with that side. So let's see how I messed that up. Right, so by going here, I provoked a very similar situation, actually. But even just that move was much worse. The reason being, if I go here first, he can't take here. If he takes here, this is going to be impossible to stop. I didn't fully grasp that. I was so worried about this pawn that I try to defend it with this bishop, and that doesn't work as well. Now, especially there, all I'm doing is making it worse. Well, no, I guess not. He's attacking it. But now, what I've done is I've lured his king to get these pawns, and these are too far away to take advantage of this situation. And so now we're just firmly in draw territory. So it's kind of a fascinating, very important endgame lesson that I know so well as knowledge, but I was not able to use it as skill in this game, which is I can't let this all get traded off and think that in fact, I knew that I couldn't, but I just kind of got lured into this trap of thinking that I had to handle this in any way I could, instead of just saying, the win is an easy one. The win is an easy one. We already know the plan. I executed the plan, right? I just did it after I let everything get traded off. And even here is totally fine. I just go there. Oh, wait, that's not the game. Oh, yeah, this was the first error. Just go here. And then, then it's over. Okay. So, I made terrible endgame blunder. Just a basic, how could you make that blunder? And then my opponent turned around and also made a terrible blunder. So you know the big takeaway with this game is knowing basic endgame stuff, not knowing it, right? We all know it. I know it. My opponent knows it. You guys all know it. It's taking that knowledge and very thoughtfully and carefully executing it during games when you're often in time trouble. I wasn't even in time trouble, but still, that's the worry, right? You're going to be in time trouble in the spot. So that's going to wrap it up for another episode of The Road to 2200. We got another win. We threw away a win, and then they threw away a draw, and I got a win. So I'll see you next time.